Hello, everyone. I'm Minister James Moss. This is Continuing Education. We are in the book of Acts, and we're starting chapter 10. So we're moving along. All right. So we're going to cover verses 1 through 8 in chapter 10, and this one is entitled Cornelius Calls for Peter. All right. So we're getting a chance to see, how the Gentiles are more and more becoming involved and engrafted in this thing. Okay, here we go. In the history of the early church recorded in the first 9 chapters of Acts, this saving work of God's Spirit was mostly confined to the Jews. Suddenly, Acts 10 describes the Spirit's sovereign activity in a Gentile army officer stationed on the Mediterranean coast. The book of Acts continues with its steady, singular message. God is directing the expansion of his church, founded on the crucified and resurrected Christ. The conversion of Cornelius, the first Gentile convert recorded in Acts, portrays a significant step in the process of expansion. The word was spreading, and the church was on the threshold of a new phase of Jesus' promised progress. All right, so here we go. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian Band, a devout man, and one that feared God with all his house, which gave much alms to the people and prayed to God always. He saw in a vision, evidently about the 9th hour of the day, an angel of God coming in to him and saying unto him, Cornelius. And when he looked on him, he was afraid and said, What is it, Lord? And he said unto him, Thy prayers and thine alms are come up for a memorial before God. And now send men to Joppa and call for one Simon, whose surname is Peter. He lodgeth with one Simon the tanner, whose house is by the seaside. He shall tell thee what thou oughtest to do. When the angel which spake unto Cornelius was departed, he called 2 of his household servants and a devout soldier of them that waited on him continually. And when he had declared all these things unto them, he sent them to Joppa. Okay. So, verses 1 and 2, this Caesarea, sometimes called Palestinian Caesarea, was located on the coast of the Mediterranean Sea, 32 miles north of Joppa, the largest and most important port city on the Mediterranean in Palestine. Caesarea was the capital of the Roman province of Judea. This is the first city to have Gentile Christians and a non-Jewish church. This Roman officer, although stationed in Caesarea, would probably have had to return soon to Rome. Thus, his conversion may have helped to spread the gospel to the empire's capital city. Because of frequent outbreaks of violence, Roman soldiers had to be stationed to keep peace throughout Israel. But most Romans hated as conquerors. But most Romans hated as conquerors did not get along well with the nation. As an officer, Cornelius was in a difficult position. He represented Rome, but he lived in Caesarea. During Cornelius' years in Israel, he had been conquered by the God of Israel. With a reputation as a devout man, Cornelius was respected by the Jews. Cornelius' faith had hands. He was regularly involved in activities that displayed his interest in serving others. Verses 3 and 4. The time, about 3 o'clock, was likely one of Cornelius' regular times of prayer. This was one of the hours of prayer at the temple. Cornelius may have prayed faithfully for many years before this day when an angel of God came to speak to him. Later, Cornelius would describe this angel as a man in dazzling clothing. Even this veteran soldier was terrified. God saw Cornelius' sincere faith. His prayers and generous giving had not gone unnoticed by God. God answers the sincere prayer of those who seek him by sending the right person or the right information at the right time. Verses 5 and 6. God told Cornelius to send for a man named Simon Peter because Peter would give him more knowledge about the God he was already seeking to please. Cornelius was directed to Joppa to find Peter. Verses 7 and 8. Cornelius obeyed the message of the angel and sent his most trusted aides to get Peter. 3 men were sent, 2 household servants and a devout soldier, the latter of whom is described as one of his personal attendants. Obviously, the godly character of Cornelius had made an impact on those closest to him. The word used to describe Cornelius's account of what had happened is the word from which we get the term exegesis, okay, meaning to explain clearly and in detail. All right, so this is where Cornelius has gotten the message that, okay, God has seen what you got going on, what you've been doing. Your prayers and your benevolence has come up as a memorial to God. Now it's time for you to complete the cycle. Send for Peter. Let's do this. All right, so reread it. Ask God, hey, is this how I should interpret this? And then see, okay, well, let me see how that applies to my life. Let me do some digging and some searching. Always continue to keep studying. God bless you. God keep you. Until next time.